Alright loves, I'm back. And this time we're going to do the fans. So these are not just for graduation, but I felt like this would be a good use of some of the extra substrates that I have. And also get a chance to demonstrate how we can use the same template to do different items. So this was on the graduation mock-up template. What I did was I made a circle, and I believe this circle is 9 inches in diameter, and that way it can clear the black area as well. So then that way we bleed into the black, and then we have full coverage on our white part. So I'm going to go ahead and trim. And you might as well, since you have the circle cut out, it'll make it easier for you if you go ahead and trim around the circle. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but at least you want to know where your center is and the placement of your graphics, especially your text. Because one thing you don't want to happen is you've done all this hard work and you're going to cut off your lettering. So, these. Alright, so we have the circle cut out now. Amazing. You know, I do what I can. Now what we're going to do is hold it up to the light, and I'm going to check to see what gets cut off. I want to make sure that my text is in there, and I want to make sure I don't cut off the top of anyone's head, or like, you know, cut something off in the middle of someone's eyes or anything like that. So I'm happy with that. I think you can see the graphic there through it. And of course, it's printed in reverse, sublimation paper, sublimation ink. Innate Lab, check us out for the ink and paper. And then I'm gonna go ahead and you can do a spray adhesive, you can do a you can use heat tape to tack it. I'm gonna tack it because I feel like this is one of those things that can shift a little bit. Normally I don't use heat tape, I don't use spray adhesive for most things, but I do for the socks and I do for the fans. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my press the way y'all can see a little bit better. Alright. Open that up. And technically these are a size where I could do 2 on my press at a time. We're just going to demo one. Now you're going to place the item face up, and there's no really face to this because both sides look the same. I just messed up my placement playing with it. And there we go. And typically I have my box down there, but typically I'm spraying in my box. So I would suggest you do the same thing. Matter of fact, let me do it off camera. We just spray in my box. And you want to spray your graphic lightly, mist it. If you spray too hard or if your nozzle is clogged up, it'll spray chunks and potentially mess up your design if you'll have missing ink in that area. Alright, little spray. And then we'll go ahead and replace this graphic. And put it to where y'all can see it. I think y'all can see through this. And see, I was just giving it a little light tack there. Perfect. Now, if I was doing a bunch of these, I may not tack them. I may just go with the flow. And I had a little wrinkle in the fabric there, so I want to make sure that that didn't cause any issues. And the bottom of my heat press is a little warm, so if I needed to smooth anything out, that warmth actually helps with that. Now, let's close it up. Let's do 60 seconds. And I have the pouch too. Let me go ahead and let this go for 60 seconds. So for the pouch, you can print the separate image for the pouch, but what I end up doing is taking excess from my print, which I don't have excess. process for one of these. If I don't want to print like an entirely different image for that because I'm saving paper or I'm just using prints that I've already used, so I'll just use that sandwich for the outside and repress it. So let's see here. Where's my extra? It's one of my extra prints here. Yeah, I was going to show y'all how to tile this, so that's not really extra. Show y'all how to tile it. And we should be good to go. Now, it has metal surrounding this, so that metal is probably hot. So I'll probably pull this off the side and let it cool off a little bit. And while it's cooling, we'll go ahead and do this little pouch. Now, I've seen people do some, you know, kind of different stuff with these pouches, and I keep it simple. I just do a box. If I'm going to print this, I just do a small box, and I'll measure this for you. Now, this pouch, you have to measure your own stuff because we get different substrates, and I don't want to tell you something, but this one is about 4 inches. A 4-inch box will give you a good bleed all the way around. And I'm just going to use my second fan print. Like I said, usually I have some extra prints from somewhere, and I'll just pick something that works. Like, I don't have to get the words on there. So I'm going to make sure face number 1 and face number 2 are going to do front and back. And honestly, I have a little extra material if I needed to do another one. So I might save that for. And I just have it sandwiched in here. And what I will do a little spray tack on this because when I flip it, I want to make sure that my image stays in the same place so I don't end up with any ghosting. Let me close that so I don't get boinked trying to spray. I'm spraying my image a little bit on each side, making sure I'm not having any globs in there. Then I'm going to place my pouch right up to that crease. In fact, let me make sure it gets it on this side. When I sandwich it, the paper tacks to itself as well, and it creates a nice little seal around the object so it won't move around in there. Now, I don't suggest that you press these with the fans because the fans have that metal in it, so it gives it a little more thickness to it. And you can't really be certain that it's going to press the pouch at the same pressure that it's pressing the fan. But if you were absolutely in a rush and you had to, the worst case scenario is that the pouch probably wouldn't get as much pressure or heat, and the pouch is not really the element that most people are looking to see. So let's see if we're cool over here. Yes. So this is our fan. You see it there? And the light might be passing through it a little bit, but it's very, although it is a little bit transparent, it's very clear. You know, you can see the image very well. I tend to have issues learning how to fold these things up, but I don't suggest you do them immediately because while it's still hot, just let it, you know, relax on a flat surface so that you don't get any warping or anything. And our pouch is ready. Well, no, it's not. When I flip it. So we'll just flip. And I didn't use protective paper, so I'll make sure that the next time I press, I put protective paper in just in case I have any issues with residual ink or some of the gases rising from the sides of the print getting onto my platen. But that's about it. I'm gonna show y'all that result in just a bit. Then we'll be able to do the stoles and we'll be done with this unit. Did I hit my timer? I did not. So I'm gonna guesstimate when we're getting to, I'll say maybe 40 seconds is all I really need. Now, I know it sounds really petty, but I shave those seconds off because those seconds matter when it comes to doing high production. And for most things, believe it or not, if you're using good ink, good paper, and your quality substrates, you're not going to need 60 seconds on everything. And this one, I'm going to use a little too much pressure. Let me peel that way. And I'll show you these two up close. Let me come around. And hopefully I'll be able to fold this up too for you. Show you how it works. Okay. So, this is our fan. This is our pouch. And like I said, I just used that extra image. I didn't get fancy with the pouch. As long as it has something on there that matches, you're good. So let's see if we can fold this puppy up. It's like every time. Oh, look at that. It's only because y'all are watching me. I actually got it. You see that? So maybe you can slow that down to 2.0 speed and figure out how I did that. I might have to figure out how I did that. Okay, and then we just place it in the pouch there. Now I wouldn't give it to the customer like that. I would give them the full fan because it has a greater presentation when it's full and large like that. So I just tucked it in there. And we have our handsome young gentleman. The back is like he's leaving. That's his back. And the front, smiling. Back, holding up his helmet, saying goodbye to 2020. Because it has been a hell of a year. All right, guys. So that's it for this one. So we did the fan. Next, we'll be doing the stoles. So look out for me on that. And don't forget to let me know what else you want to see us produce and make templates for. All right, guys. See you in a bit.